a solar coaster. Come along for the ride, yeah. The solar coaster's rolling, it feels so right. Hop on a solar coaster. Come along for the ride.
Aloha, my name is Anna Covert, and this is The Solar Coaster, the wild ride through the solar industry told by the people who are living it every day. In the hot seat with me today is Eric Wedell of Energy Plus Solar. Eric, let's kick this off. When did the sun first shine on your solar path?
Years ago when I was like an adolescent, like we're talking about like the 1970s or so.
1970s.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first time I ever got inspired to learn about solar energy.
And what was the reason for it? It was just, you were just a green tree hover? Or?
No, actually, I mean, I was a kid, and people were like demonstrating against nuclear sites, and they were waiting in line to buy gas. Like you can only buy gas on certain days of the month,
Oh, wow.
like odd or even and things like that. So I just started thinking about it just as a child, I started thinking about like, there's got to be some kind of solution for this, So I actually read a book called Energy Options. It was by some kind of professor or something, and he had all these options laid out like hydrogen, nuclear, solar, and he was weighing the pluses and minuses of all those.
Interesting.
And yeah, so I got really fascinated and I wanted to get into it at that age.
And so then you started your first company when?
My first company I started in 1994, which was Energy Plus, actually. And I started doing air conditioning actually at that time. Yeah.
And pool water heating.
And pool water heating. We did pool water heating, hot water, like, for your shower, water, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And when was the first time you installed an actual PV as we know it today?
So yeah, PV started to come into the picture commercially, like in the early 90s. And, I remember we sold our first system. It was a Sharp system made by Sharp. And we installed it on a lawyer's roof who had gotten a settlement. And so he just had a bunch of money he wanted to spend. So I remember that, yeah. So we did like a sawtooth design. So we did our own design. And, we were like super creative in the early days. I mean, we used to just make our own trackers, all kinds of style. Yeah, we designed and installed our own tracking systems. We put up windmills. We just pretty much did it all.
Wow. Well, without any rules, without any permits, you're just like, we'll pop a wind.
Yeah, well, solar, yeah. I mean, they used to come out and ask me, like, does it work? They weren't even sure what they were looking at.
The utility companies?
Huh?
This is before the utility grid connection.
Yeah, this was like the building of safety coming out, and then you come out and look at it, This was like 2003. I think the first one I put in was 2003, actually, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was your most exciting up in the industry? Like hands in the air, rise in solar? When did you really see it come together?
As far as the solar industry?
Or your role in solar. Now you're doing some cutting edge things that other dealers aren't with your storage and innovation and kind of smart home. Where do you think was kind of one of your biggest ups worth mentioning?
I mean, it really started to accelerate probably in around 2014, somewhere around there. I mean, we were just putting in a lot of systems. I mean, everybody was getting into it at that time, That's when a lot of big corporations started to get into it. We became a SunPower dealer at the time, and it just took off. I mean, I had a complete sales department that, was run by a sales leader. So yeah, we really, that was a golden age of installing.
So you realize it's been you became a master dealer.
Right.
And when we met a couple of years later.
Right.
Wow. So every ride has its drops. What has been one of the worst for you, and how'd you bounce back?
I mean, it seems like the world solar coaster, like you say. I mean, it seems like the drops happen like all the time, and then they go back up. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, oh, the first thing, NEM's going to NEM 2. Everybody freaked out about that, Then it was like, oh, the tax credit might go away, and so everybody freaked out about that, And then COVID came, and everybody freaked out about that, And we knew storage was coming. I mean, we've known it for like the last 10 years. We knew that solar would never survive on its own without storage. So I think it's in the best position now it's ever been. because of the rise of storage and what's happening right now in the market. I mean, all these people coming online with storage, the price of storage is going to drop, I believe, like in the next 5-10 years.
It has gone down significantly. What is
Yeah.
it, $100 now a kilowatt versus like $1,000
Yeah, it was like 1,000. Yeah, yeah. Especially the lithium. Yeah.
ion. What kind of batteries are you looking at now? What are you most excited about that's coming out?
I mean, lately we've been using the Powerwall, which a lot of people are.
Three.
Yeah, the Powerwall 3. I mean, it's very convenient. It's got the backup switch. I mean, they were the first to come out with the backup switch, and so I mean, we just get great customer satisfaction with that. But we're open to talking to. There's a lot of people coming online. Like I said, that's why I'm here at this show, and we're just open to see what's out there. So.
Yeah, for commercial solar, what are you looking at in terms of storage? I know that's kind of been early in adoption, and there's of course the Tesla mega packs.
Yeah.
But what else is coming out that's not there's salt storage. I know there's all different types of new technologies. Can you share any with us?
Well, I mean, small commercial is coming online with smaller packs, not like the mega pack, but like sort of in the maybe 100 kilowatt hour range, a storage, between 100 and like 300 kilowatt hours, that kind of range is starting to come online. So, I mean, there's a lot of products, but mostly it's battery. That's what we're working with, besides that, strategies as far as like load shifting,
Albatross and all that kind of fancy stuff. I think it's really interesting even today when we really look at, what are you selling the customer? Is it battery backup or is it energy storage? People might think, well, is there a difference? And we know there's a big difference.
Right.
Or like, are you doing this just so that you have, reassurances if the grid goes down, or are you actually trying to save money?
Right.
With time of use charges and these other things that are just radically popping in and out.
Right. That's the most important part of it, really, is the arbitrage. I mean, that's what they're designed to do. They're very heavily software dependent and, firmware dependent, so that's the big challenge, is having reliable systems as an installer. You know what I mean? I mean, because we're basically lined up with whatever manufacturer we're putting in. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. Like, they need us, but we need them. We need quality manufacturers. They need quality installers. So
Look at you to mention that. I think I'm kind of surprised, a little part of me surprised that there hasn't been a manufacturer for panels that has been able to have a storage solution that we really feel is, top of line.
Right.
In SunPower tried, we know that was a gigantic failure. The Sony Vault was one of the biggest failures we ever there. Experienced. Yeah, Sonic tried to do it as well, and they got out, and LG tried. They were both. What are your thoughts? And like, is there, are you seeing anything coming? Do we think that they just have to now, because now we have 2 insurance policies or 2 warranties. And again, that's kind of what we all loved about SunPower, was that complete confidence warranty and just having to go one place.
Right.
But it's interesting they no one's been able to figure it out. What do you think on that?
Well, like I said, I mean, it's the quality of the product that matters, right? I mean, panels have like come a long way. So we know the panels are good. We know that the panels are going to last for the most part. I mean, they have a really low rate of failure. So yeah, the batteries, really, that is the key,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a good battery with its own internal inverter. I mean, that's really the direction I think it's going,
What about these bidirectional EV chargers? Have you used any?
Yes, actually. In fact, I have a meeting with a company called Decibel.
Oh, yeah. Are they French?
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Oh, Canadian.
I'm Canadian, yeah.
French Canadian.
And so I have a customer, who's actually buying one. And so because of that, he wants me to install it, our company, Energy Plus, to install it. So yeah, so we're definitely, like I said, open to seeing what people have, and it looks like we're going to be installing one of those here in the next month or so.
I heard the new Tesla truck, the what are they called, Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck, yeah.
I heard that there's some combinations where people could take that, and then a Franklin is AC coupled, and they can plug it right into. They can jimmy rig that to do bidirectional.
Yeah,
And I was like, sounded a little.
yeah. You got to be careful. You know what I mean? You got to be careful because the customer's spending tens of thousands of dollars in equipment, so you have to really make sure that stuff's all going to work together. Like you were saying to your previous point, I mean, having one manufacturer is nice, but that being said, if that's not, possible, then having a manufacturer that specifically states that, they're designed to work with other products,
Yeah.
Like this dust ball product, they're saying, oh, we'll work with the Nissan Leaf, we'll work with anything that's out there. And so this customer found this on his own. And he asked me, well, do you want to install this product? And I never heard of it and they were new. And I was like, oh, I don't know, it's like, if it sucks, I'll be on the look, that's the thing. So, but like I said, you have to always be open, that's what's great about competition, nobody's at the top forever, you know what I mean? People constantly compete and they come up with better innovation. And that's what our industry's all about. I mean,
It is. So what would you say to those, junior guys out there that are just thinking about getting into the industry? What is your advice for them?
I would just say, learn the technology, just get into the technology, learn the software. Programming is going to be important. And then just decide what side you want to be in. I mean, if you want to be a manufacturer, if you want to be a contractor, so it's just kind of decide which route you're going to go.
Yeah. What do you think is the most exciting stuff that's coming? What are you most excited about in the next 5 years?
I'm excited about self-contained solar systems for customers. I think
We're off-grid
stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I mean, yeah, it's a revolution. I mean, when you go to somebody's house and they don't have to use the power company anymore, that is like, yeah, that blows the lid off.
Yeah, it really does. And I think it's so interesting that, really the utilities are like the only true monopoly. And I get it. It's part of me that I went to Power Gen one of those years and met a nice lady whose father owned a utility company. And she really kind of gave me a new perspective on what was involved and what an art form it is to really move power and burn it and do the different, generators and turbines. And I was like, wow, it's just really amazing. But at what point do we say, okay, 100 years it was enough?
Yeah.
Or now, like, we should be able to get off the grid if we want to without
Right.
a penalty.
Well, that's the great thing about solar is that it's distributed right to your property. I mean, that's the best distribution you can have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not losing anything. Or you
Yeah.
got 10% conversion into the inverter.
Right.
And then that's basically it.
When we
For five.
When we put enough batteries and enough solar panels on somebody's house, and whatever happens to the grid's not going to matter. You know what I mean? No matter what, they're going to be good. So
It's true.
So that's the revolution in solar. It's really happening right now. I think solar is the best it's ever been right now.
I think so too. And that's like, I think a lot of what I really appreciate about the people I interview for the book and clients like yourself, that there's a resiliency here in this industry. And like, there were times where there was no SIP tax credits.
Right.
And there were times where, things have been against us. I mean, solar net metering was over in 2015 in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You don't hear us crying. Oh,
No.
and when some people talk about, oh, it's the end of solar, I'm like, you know what?
Right.
Look to history, look at the different industries, or not industries, but locations, and like California going through NEM. It's going to happen everywhere.
Right.
And it's just the way you sell the solar needs to change.
Right.
Right. And selling it like an ROI of, that it's like a no-brainer. Well, it's still a no-brainer.
Yeah. It is.
And my advice to people is not to discount or put your own objection into it. If the customer came out to you for a reason, they want solar. If you don't sell it to them, someone else will. Don't prejudge.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, and then even from a macro aspect, as far as, there's a lot of conversation on social media about like, oh, solar can't satisfy the needs of the country, as a whole and all that. People say a lot of that stuff. But I mean, if you really just Google or go through AI, whatever you use, and look at what's the wholesale price of producing power in the United States, and solar's right in there with like coal and nuclear. I mean, they're all around 5 cents a kilowatt hour to produce.
Wow.
And yeah, and with the solar, like, I'm not saying that there can't be other forms of energy, but I mean, solar is the most democratized form of energy,
Readily available.
Yeah.
For us. And I think that's another part that, I'm a big believer that we need all the power sources.
Right.
When we're growing so fast with this AI that we need and how much we need, there's no way that we can just rely on one thing. We need all the wind. We need all the solar. We need it, and if we want to be able to set up another coal mine, we're looking at 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then you have to have labor. You have to maintain it. There's risk. Solar, it's up in a year and a half. There's no risk.
Yeah.
And now, did you see the new drones? I'm looking forward to seeing them at this show.
Oh, really?
They're the installer drones.
Mm.
And they're, yes. And they're supposed to be more for commercial. I don't think that that's on the
For like lifting panels and things like that. Yeah.
and doing big solar farms, and they go out there and they, and they're like, I don't think it's really going to replace. I know people are really afraid of AI and replacing people. I don't believe that. I think these are our solar helpers.
Well, yeah.
Right. And if you can then cut the insulation down super fast, I mean, because some of these panels are like enormous now.
Oh yeah, it's very.
I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, guys on a roof in the heat of the sun. I mean, any help we can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, I'll use it.
I mean, I don't know what's making the panels bigger and bigger. I mean, the 360 seemed like the perfect option.
Like, yeah.
And now they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like 500 watts. But the thing
Well, it's a marketing thing because customers, that's education. Like customers in their mind, they're like, well, he has a 450 watt panel. It's like, well, it's the same efficiency as this 400 watt panel. It's just bigger. You know what I mean? So that's just the education. I always tell them, like, look, you could have twice as many that are half. You know what I mean? It's like 6 half dozen kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
And especially in places like Seattle where there's really small roofs. I mean, it's basically impossible to even put one on the roof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of that, remember that one firm that SunPower was going to release with First Solar?
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
500
was like a blast.
Huge.
Yeah. Without a frame. It's like,
it was so heavy. It was like impossible to lift up to the roof.
Yeah, it's hard enough as it is. I mean, the guys are like either carrying them on a ladder or pulling it up with a lift, or sometimes we're renting a lift. I mean, it's always the challenging part, So I'm all for keeping the panels smaller, using the drones. We can get drones to lift them. I'm all about that.
Oh, now they're doing panel cleaning with drones.
Really?
Yeah, I had it's called Lucid Drone, and they do windows and stuff like that as well. But they go up and you hook up the water. You can use it to the client's water, bring your own water, I guess. But the hose, and then it's just one man flying, and think about all the savings of not having on the roof. Like less risk of breaking a tile.
Yeah.
Getting the whole crew up there, they just like, and then they clean the panel.
And it's like right there. Yeah. No, so the technology, I mean, yeah, it's come along. It'll never fully replace humans, but it'll help us doing what we're doing,
Absolutely.
As you know, in your line of business too,
I love AI.
Yeah, really?
I just started using it not that long ago, only say maybe 6 months ago. And now it's, such a dream. Like I'll write something, like an email, not obviously in the book, but I'll write an email, and instead of having to, edit it or like read through it again, I just take it and copy paste it into, I don't edit.
Yeah.
It comes back perfect. And way to go, chat.
Yeah. Well, I used it in a real world situation where I had signed a contract, and he signed it in English, and the financing company said, oh no, this has to be in Spanish because the application was in Spanish. You know what I mean? So I literally just uploaded the entire PDF in English, and it came back, from Grok in like 10 minutes. I know it is. It's so helpful. I mean, it would have taken me days to find somebody.
Absolutely. And then even, just like data, like I'll take data and like all this data. I don't know exactly what I want to do with the data.
Right.
Before I used to have to actually do it myself. Now I'll be like, take this spreadsheet, take these columns. This is the cost per 1,000 impressions that I want. This is the click-through rate. Like analyze these specific numbers and give it instructions. And then it's like, pretty darn good. I mean, it does get it wrong. You got to be like, well, what about this? So it's like, you're absolutely right. Like they'll hallucinate a little bit, but it's definitely the future. And on that note, though, what are you feeling is like the risk level? Because I mean, I read that Franklin batteries, they're Chinese owned.
Yeah.
They look American with the branding.
Right.
They're actually owned and they're Chinese owned.
Right.
What are your thoughts about, these span systems and others and being hacked from, is there a foreign threat? Could there be?
As far as like hacking the system, well, I suppose. I mean, all of these battery systems report to a server somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I put in some Solarks a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And one of my customers is like this super genius IT guy, right? And he goes, well, I don't like the fact that the monitoring's in China. So he just created his own monitoring. For his Solar, he called Solark and like literally developed his own monitoring with his thing. Yeah. So I mean, it bothered him enough that he didn't want all his data going to China where they could like shut him off or whatever.
Or start a fire. I mean, I can't remember even now who was telling me about it, but someone was also worried about because I had my Span, which I love.
Yeah.
My Span app, and
we'd like to start putting those in. Those are
best.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then also now Solar Edge with their new home system.
Oh really?
That also includes kind of like a smart panel, and it's great because people who I know they've had some bad press and whatnot, but the new upgrade.
You have a solar edge battery?
I do not.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have two Teslas.
Okay. Yeah.
I have, so I've got my two SunPower Monoxion systems. I got the 327s and then the 410s.
Yeah.
I have the two Tesla Powerwall 2s,
Yeah.
and I have a charge point, a span, and my Porsche Taycan. It's like
Okay.
a fully off-grid.
Yeah. That's great. It's such an exciting feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. But the span actually lets you control the loads, right? Like remotely and stuff like that.
Yes,
you know?
probably. It's whatever goes off. You see, like must need circuits, nice to have,
Yeah.
don't need.
Yeah.
And then you can tile them through, and it'll show you how much power is left, or based off of.
It's a good product. It's a great product. We haven't sold any, but maybe I'll talk to the span guy here today. So
You should.
yeah.
We're also looking forward to seeing at the show.
Span panels. I mean, there's having a panel shortage right now, so I'm kind of interested to hear if we can get any REC panels or Q-cell panels. They're saying they're having problems at the border or something like that. Yeah, Q-cell is from what I heard, they're shut down for last year. Yeah, that's what I've.
But they had. What about their new facility in Alabama? Or is it Georgia?
I'm just going by what Green Tech. See, Green Tech told me this morning.
They're making their own panels now in the States, so that we didn't have to really worry.
I mean, they say that, but then, like you said, I mean, they import the parts sometimes, you know what I mean? And then they assemble them. But I mean, I like to get as much as I can on board. I want to talk to, especially small commercial batteries and control systems.
Yeah.
I mean, I started with Solarc. I'm working on a commercial system right now. We sold them the solar, and we're gonna put it with a Renon battery. And so I'm going to be talking to them. So I'm excited to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being a guest today. And please join me next week as I interview another industry expert. And I hope you. Although we do a new ending. I didn't plan that one well. I'm like, okay. Thanks so much for being here today, Eric. For all my guests, please visit thesolarcoasterbook.com, pick up a copy of my new book. It'll be available everywhere online in a couple weeks. And join me next week as I interview another industry expert on the wild ride of the solar coaster. Aloha.
Hop on the solar coaster, come along for the ride.